Hello, how are you?
Good yourself?
Oh, good, thanks. You say yourself like really strongly. Like, how's yourself? How's
How
yourself?
how is it? What
Yeah,
is
not
yourself doing?
yeah, not much. Just living normal life, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not sure what normal is actually, but anyway,
Where are you speaking from?
I'm speaking from the wonderful town of Summer Hill.
Summer Hill, lovely.
Mm.
Isn't that a nice name for a town?
So, yeah,
Like the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast is a nice place. Nice name for a place. And
there is.
Surfers Paradise.
Yeah, they are good names. They entice you to want to look a little bit more at where it's at, and you should go up there and have a look. Yeah,
Very smart for tourism.
mm-hmm.
But the Surfers Paradise itself isn't much of a surfer's paradise, really.
Well, there's not pretty much the same as there's no hill at Summer Hill. It's pretty flat.
There you go.
Mm.
There you go. So what's going down in the rugby league?
Well, just about everything actually, because there was these
Apart
two.
from ball bags in schooner glasses.
There's nothing like a ball bag and a schooner glass on a Mad Monday.
They're still cocking on about it. I
Uh,
don't think they need to specify what went on a dirty Mad Monday. Like, it's just a room full of drunk idiots carrying on like gorillas. And yeah, okay, we don't have to really delve into, specifics.
well, anyway, we should get into the close games that were on the weekend, the Cronulla and Penrith game and the South Rabbits and Dragons game. Did you see any of those?
Yeah, I did. Seen them all.
Oh, good. Geez, they were close games, weren't they? There was nothing
Good
in
footy,
them.
wasn't it? Geez, it was, this time of year, it seems like all the negative kind of bullshit goes out the window and it's just good footy, eh?
Oh, absolutely. The Sharks were they were nearly going to get run down, weren't they? And then Panthers were coming home with a wet sail, but they just hung on as they normally do, the Sharks.
Yeah, they're just great at that grind, staying in that arm wrestle and then getting the chocolates at the end. They're bloody notorious for that over the years.
Yeah, they are. They're without Wade Graham, but they hung on and they're in the grand final qualifier.
Yeah, Paul Wado, he's done his ACL. It's a pretty bad one too. Apparently, it's
Is it?
Yeah, he won't even be right for pre-season from all reports.
Shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's just had a bub too. Congratulations to him and his wife. His missus,
well done.
sorry. And so he's got. It's not like he's not going to have enough on his hands as it is. But it's a shame that he can't be taking the field with the boys on the weekend. But
No,
a couple of great games coming up, eh? Far out.
Yeah. We had the Rabbits and the Dragons 13-12. And
Oh, what a thrilling game that was! That free Adam Reynolds, he just had like the heat seeker missile on for his
didn't he?
goals.
Can't he kick a ball? Yeah, 3 field goals in a space of about 10 minutes.
Yeah, he's just smacking them from at will. And I thought the Dragons for the last 30 minutes, 20 minutes at best, they looked like they were just rat shit. They were out on their feet. They were trying their guts out, but they just looked depleted and just buggered physically. And obviously Tarek Sims had gone off. And,
yeah, they missed him towards the end there. And then but it pisses me off there. Everyone had a go at Ben Hunt after the game about his last tackle option at the last minute there. They give it to him he plays such a good game of football. He's defensively and in attack, he does some really great things, and he makes a bit of a mistake, and it's all over the place. Everyone's going to bag him again. And
well, some people say
leave him alone.
Yeah, some people say, well, don't forget too, like we're watching the game from the bird's eye view, where you can see what's going on. You're not on a level playing field where it's happening at a million miles an hour.
Yep,
it's like if you can imagine watching like a highway pile up just before it happens from a drone view. You can see it coming. You're like, oh no, look at this.
Yeah, that's a good way.
Bang.
Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Absolutely.
And then it's the same on the field. Like it's just like bang, 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 bang. And you just got to make these quick decisions. You kind of react to what's going on around you, what you think's going on around you.
Yeah.
And if you had the time to zoom out and look at it from a spectator's point of view, you go, okay, I probably can see that. Like a bit more like a game of chess. Like, it looks like there's numbers coming on this side, and I've got this bloke behind me on my right, this bloke behind me on my left, and he's got another bloke outside him, and there's only 2 here, and I guess the great players more often than not kind of can have that kind of preempt that kind of stuff, but they make out like some of the shit that people say. They make out like he's doing it on purpose.
Yeah, it's got that definite feel about it. Also, when they're viewing it from a grandstand viewpoint, as you said, as a bird's eye view, they're shoving a pie in their guts and they're drinking a Coke or drinking a beer, or as opposed to being in their armchair in their beautiful lounge as they're watching it on their big coloured TV screen, and having a beer and getting their wife to cook them some dinner as they watch the footy.
You want to go into any more details?
Oh, it just pisses me off. He's a great player, and he does.
He's a great player, and he's going to be a great player for years to come. So,
first class. Yep.
Just stay off social media. Don't read the bullshit, because quite often the people writing the bullshit have done absolutely fuck all in their own lives.
Yep.
And it's okay to be a passionate fan and to get the shits and yell and curse and have an opinion, but it gets to the point where it's bullying and it's like their actual could do a better job themselves. That's when you start
laughing.
That's when you ignore it, because it's you just know.
Well, long before his last tackle option had gone wrong at the end of that game, there were mistakes by his other teammates that put them down in the first place.
Yeah, that's a good point too. Yeah. It's not. He's in a pivotal role where he's going to cop the brunt of criticism quite often, whether it,
Yep. Mate, he scored a great individual try, and his defence all around was great. So, anyway. But anyway, they got beat 13-12. They couldn't get there. And, as you said, this week there's Melbourne taking on Cronulla Sharks and the Roosters taking on the Rabbits. And I have to bring it up, and I bring it up every time. You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Go on.
The advantage that Storm has this Friday playing a grand final qualifier is just not fair for the rest of the teams. No grand final qualifier should be a home ground advantage. Yeah,
I agree.
Well, you consider Homebush is neutral to all teams, regardless of who uses it throughout the year as a home game.
Is that double AMI? Is it?
Yeah.
It's not fair.
It's
it's the excuse or the reason is expanding the game. You're getting more fans down in Melbourne to come and watch a.
You can this time of year you can stick expanding up your arse.
Yep, I agree.
Well, Homebush is neutral to all teams, regardless of who plays there throughout the year. But it hasn't got that home feel about it. Homebush.
No, it's dog shit, isn't
it? You've got 10,000 people in there. It's like there's 5 people watching a game, but. It just doesn't make any sense to me. That's got to be the neutral semi-final, grand final qualifying arena that everyone should use, regardless, leading up to the grand final.
Yeah, or at least a neutral ground.
Anyway, who do you think is going to win, the Storm or the Sharks on Friday night?
I think. I don't know. I can't. I find it hard to tip against the Sharks. I'm a little bit conflicted because
they've got a great record against the Storm.
They do, and they without. I don't know if is Paul Gallen playing.
Well, it looks like it, but he'd be damaged. His shoulder's not real good, but he'll take the field apparently.
Yeah, he usually gets on there. He's all right, but they've got a pretty good record without Wado and without Gal as well.
Yep.
And of course they'd want him there. They'd want him there. And if I was a coach, I'd want them both there. But yeah, it's not like it's. Say if it was Melbourne without Cameron Smith and Billy Slater, you'd be a lot more worried, for them. So,
yep.
Look, I'm going to stick with Melbourne, home ground, and just
home ground,
big game experience. I'll stick with Melbourne.
Yep. Yeah, I can't.
But I'm going for the Sharks. I want the Sharks to win. I want to be wrong. I really want to be wrong.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, the Storm just looks strong, and that home ground advantage is going to be the difference.
Yeah, Billy Slater's last year.
Yeah.
They'll be there for it.
Saturday, you got the Roosters taking on the Rabbits.
Yeah, that's going to be a cracker. Jeez, I wish Latrell Mitchell was playing.
So do I, absolutely.
What a shame. Anyway, I'll say, it's hard to pity a tip. Everyone's such a good side. I'm going to tip the Roosters for this one.
Yeah, look, it's a toss of a coin for me, but yeah, Sydney Roosters for mine, just.
Yeah.
Just.
I think the week off would have done them wonders. That war that the Bunnies just went through with the Dragons, I think it might have taken a bit of a toll physically. But, sometimes it can go against you too when you have that week off. You kind of get stale and out of the rhythm.
Yep.
It could break your rhythm. I've seen a number of times teams do better without having the week off.
Yeah.
I think in this instant, it's going to benefit the red, white, and boosters.
Yeah, this final eight concept is that week off really helps the teams. Where before that, when it was the final five, although they had a different sort of structure of the final eight. Yeah, the week off really helps those teams, doesn't it?
Will you ask any player at this time of year?
Yeah, they're all busted.
They all want to win that game that gets them the week off.
Yep.
Because and the elation. I remember when we've done it back in the day, we would win that game and get the week off. It was like, oh, thank God, especially like some of the poor forwards I used to watch. I was just thinking, we need a week off so they can rest their weary bones, just recuperate. And there's so much. Get your body right. This time of year, it's such an advantage to have a week off after a year full of niggly injuries and
most
all
definitely.
that shit. So it's going to be a great weekend of footy anyway, and then the big dance the following week.
Yeah, you going to the grand final at all?
No, I'm not going. I'm not going. I'm going to just stay up here.
Yep.
I don't know if I'm going. There's a kangaroo reunion too. I don't think I'm going to go. I think I'm just going to stay up here.
Come on, you got to go. They're great days.
They are great days. I love them.
And this one's gone back to the last couple of seasons they've had where the whoever goes meets up with the current kangaroo squad and they have a bit of a lunch and a couple of drinks and stuff. But this one is actually back to the way it was, where you're just sitting down with the players that you played with, having a drink and going into the evening, hopefully.
Yeah, they're good days. Bloody oath. They're big days too. Start at lunchtime and they bloody carry on through whatever hour of the morning. But it's good to have a beer with the old legends and just. It's amazing the respect in the room for each other. Like, and I was someone. I only played one test against France. I never felt like before I ever went to them. I always felt like an idiot. I never went to the first few because I was like, I don't deserve it. Like, I played one test. But when you go there, and I said, oh, geez, I feel weird being here, only played one test. And they just tell you to shut up. Like, all the old guys say, mate, shut up. Like, they love that you come. They go, you don't understand how good it is when the young guys come, whether you played one test, whether you sat on the bench, whatever it is, come along because it really makes our day. And, blokes like Norm Proven and Arthur Summons saying stuff like that,
Yeah,
So,
it's a rule. There's a respect in the room. That everyone's got the respect for each other, whether you've played 30 tests or you've played one test. You've played it for your country, and we're all in the same country, and we're all together in the trenches, as it were. And it's a really good feeling. Everyone's talking to one another. There's no. It's all, the mixture is fantastic, and everyone's just into it. It's great.
I thought I was the worst ever representative there, and then one year Russell Richardson came and he said he took the crown because he only played one for Super League. So
Russell Richardson is a blast from the past.
Yeah, he's a champion. And Aaron Raper too. I can't remember. I think he played a test against someone like Scotland or something like that. And so when those two go, I feel a little bit more prestigious. And I thought that I was killing it one year, and then I walked past Robbie Kearns, and as I walked past him, he yelled out, "Oi, one test, get me a beer." I was like, fuck. But you know what was cool? Once I walked in, and I just walked in, the first table I walked past, like everyone's just standing up. It's just a casual kind of hangout at a pub, having a beer with all these legends in one room. And Arthur Summons was just at the bar, at the table, talking to a few guys. And I just said, "Oh, hey guys, how's it going?" They go, "Hey, young Grothy, how are you, mate?" Like shaking hands and all that. I was like, "Oh, well, what a spin out." And then I go, "I'm just going to get a beer." And Arthur Summons says, "Grab me one, Grothy." And I got Arthur Summons a beer, and I was like, "Oh,
yeah, good
that,
Good stuff.
This bloke is in the Winfield Cup trophy, or the NRL Cup trophy.
Total legend.
Buying him a beer, absolute champion.
Yep. So those days, that's that's about. It doesn't matter who you are. It's what you achieved, and we all done it on the same level.
Yeah. Good days. Yeah, I should go to it. I've just got too much to do. I've got so much to do. The day before, I've got to run a webinar for the fat loss stuff, and I'll have all new clients I've got to speak to. I've got to ring them that next day.
Yep.
So it's just a bit of a Anyway,
we'll see how you go. But if you do come, you can then buy me a beer. You can go up to the bar and get me a couple of.
Well, it is free piss, so no worries. I'll get you and all your friends one.
Okay, so what do you make of the Sam Burgess thing?
Oh, I don't make anything of it.
What's your take?
I see links and stuff. I have not bought a newspaper. I can't even tell you when, but it was longer than 5 years ago. I haven't bought a newspaper. If one's there, if I was at an airport or something, I'll flick through it. So I see them as links on social media. If I'm on Twitter, usually I've got all the news links. I'll see a link, and if I'm interested in the heading, I'll click onto it. I didn't click on this link because I just don't give a fuck. It's not got none of my business. But someone told me the story, and someone's alerted him of a fake profile Tinder, and he said thanks, blah blah blah. The boys want to speak to you or something like that, and they've turned the phone on, and there's a couple of blokes showing their asses and getting their packages out or whatever. And
it could have stayed in house, but apparently she sent some emails to South, and it went with no response over a month. She then took the story to the media, but when they checked to see where these emails were, they'd lodged themselves in the junk mail, so they didn't sue them.
Yeah, okay.
And now they've obviously looking at it and stuff like that. But what gets me is we just get the flat message of there's been photos on social media and this lady saw it, and there's that complaint. It's such a big, everyone gets to know what the situation is, and it's all over the place. What I get the shits about is you don't hear the intricacies of the story. Like, for instance, the Bulldogs Mad Monday, where initially it's just thrown, splashed out so everyone can see it, and then everybody sees that it's in public view and this and that, and then 3 or 4 days later you get
the real story,
intricacies of the real story, saying, well, the photographer had to get on the 3rd floor and they're on the 2nd floor out of public view. And I'd like to hear a little bit more about, was she talking sexually to these players, or did they just all of a sudden just throw these photos out to them? You don't hear that.
According to this story, that's not what happened. That's just was a bit excited that she was talking to footballers, and there's no excusing.
No, of course not.
There's no excusing it. I've made massive mistakes in my life, and so has every man and woman on the planet.
Yep.
The difference in this situation is that these blokes are public figures, and it is more than likely that if something goes wrong, it's going to be made public. So I spin out that they don't think of that before it happens. That's what I spin out about it. Like, how do you not know that is going to go pear-shaped?
Well, they've had a few beers. It was after the Warriors game, so they'd had a few beers, and they were in party mode, they're looking at the photos. But yeah, exactly. You've got to have some sort of state of mind where you know where you are and what you're doing and where it's at.
Yeah, and I think, sending or exposing yourself on a FaceTime or camera.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the dumbest things you can fucking do.
Yeah, especially these days.
Yeah, especially when you've got a name, in a public name,
Yep.
And even when you don't, like, I've had my private stuff strewn all over friggin' the media that had nothing to do with anything. It was no one's business, and they got the story wrong, and it was completely inaccurate, but it's out there.
Yeah.
And it was completely private, and it still got out there. So I don't know. I just think if you're a footballer, especially with the way the media are really out to get you, because it creates a story and people want to read the gossip, unfortunately. You just got to not do it.
No, that's right. Well, I ask why these things need to go public in such a manner, That's
simply because it sells. That's the bottom line. It sells.
That's it. I mean,
and here we are talking about it,
Yeah, that's right. The lady could have sought friends on what she could do after her emails fell on deaf ears. I suppose she could have physically gone to the club, etc., etc., etc. You know, that I don't know. We don't know the story, and then the intricacies come out a little bit later, and you think, well, why didn't they do this, or why didn't they?
Yeah.
Anyway,
and then they bring up the Bulldog shit again, and
Yep.
about the putting their nuts in frigging schooner glasses.
Yeah, that is just totally over the top. No one needs to know that. If they're doing that and no one knows about it, no one knows about it. You don't hear it. You don't.
Who cares about the details? Like, okay, there's a room full of drunk idiots carrying on like fucking baboons. Like,
Yep.
all right, we know. Like, what do we have to know that someone dropped their nuts in a fucking schooner glass? Like, who fucking wants to know that? I don't want to know it. I just think it's just fucking... And mind you, some of these journalists who write this shit, I've seen in very compromising positions in photos. Yeah, I have.
Who?
I'm not naming names because I'm not like them pricks. But these people that write a lot of these stories, sitting on their almighty chair, looking down upon others like their fucking doesn't stink.
Are they still journos to this day, the people that you're talking about?
Yeah.
Why don't you send them a little inbox message?
I have.
Have you?
Yeah, a couple of them. There's a couple more I could. I've a couple of times when a couple of the journos I'm talking about have written a story, a bit of a damning story, and then putting shit on an incident or someone who's involved in an incident.
Yep.
I've written little inboxes going, hey, remember blah, 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 and then you should see the novels I get back. Oh, yeah, and they try and explain themselves. I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. All right, so that was a different situation. Sorry, mate, yeah, my fault. Like, and they're like, no, I know what you're saying. Like, some of them even admit in the end, like, I totally understand what you're saying, and I've got an obligation to, fulfill my job title and fulfill my role. And it's just, I said, well, like, if it's burning your soul, get another job.
Wow.
And they're like, yeah, good point. Like,
wow, okay. You don't want to name names? No.
No, I keep it close watch. Like, if I see or hear of any journo that I'm talking about, there's been 3 separate cases for me that I've seen journalists in photos, compromising photos, and twice I've seen these 2 journos under the influence, and not just of beer, and them openly admitting it. And well, one wasn't able to hide it. The other one wasn't able to hide it too, but he also admitted it and was talking about it openly. And then goes out and writes stories about players
doing the same things
in the off season, but not just saying it. Okay, that's a story, but the way they worded their story, as if they are on moral high ground in that department. And I just was like, hang on, mate, do you not fucking remember? And they're, oh, mate, like, and they're just hearing the suck up come, like the explanation. So,
how good's that?
I know, and I fucking can't stand when I see them write these stories and just put it out there and get all the pats on the backs and all the hits and the views, and no doubt their superiors at work, praise them, and they get friggin'
and they get paid.
Yeah, they get paid, and they get whether or not they're on wages or per story, I don't know, but they get praised pretty much.
Yep.
And I just can't. So I'll never shut up. If I see him do it, I'll let him know. Like, I was always wanted to one day start a website or something that was just all about dirt on journos.
Yeah.
And anyone who had dirt on journos and evidence to send it in, and we'll expose that. You know what I mean?
Hey, that makes a bit of sense. That'd be a beauty, actually. You'd get a lot of people that would.
Yeah, and I'm not bashing all journos, because I know there's some great journos who. Are there for the good of people, and also great journos who have to report some of these things sometimes, and it's just the way they go about it. If they've done shit themselves and they're sitting up there on their moral high ground, I'm like, fuck that. But if they're just reporting a story and reporting the facts and they're having an opinion on it, then that's fair enough. It's different. But anyway.
Yeah, very interesting. Okay, wow. I'd love to know their names when when we stop recording. You can tell me the names. Yeah,
sure.
Thanks. All right. Well, that got you off your ass. Oh, I'm just sore back.
What happened to your back? Uber driving.
Yeah, there's too much.
Uber back.
There's too much sitting down all day, most of the day. Yeah, that gets to you after a while.
Yeah, bloody oath. The less you do, the sore you get. I'm doing it now, I regularly exercise, and my pain is like 50% compared to when I'm doing nothing. It's like you seize up and fold over and
what goes first though? What part of you?
My lower back. If I don't exercise, and my left shoulder, my lower back and left shoulder are the first to hurt when like if I say it's Christmas and I'm just being lazy over the Christmas break.
Yeah,
I notice my shoulder just starts that dull ache.
Mm.
All the muscles around it obviously get weaker, and it just sits out of the socket. It doesn't sit in place well, and then all the nerves, I guess, get tampered with and damaged, and getting hit, and just that dull ache. It's pain. But anyway.
What about the dance festivals are coming under scrutiny, aren't they? It's been like that for a few years, but 2 people died on the weekend at the Penrith festival.
Yeah, it's heavy, isn't it?
Isn't that heavy? Yeah, absolutely.
It's rife. Like I remember going. Well, I haven't been for a while, but I used to go to the sound waves and big day outs and stuff, and I just look at some kids running around, and I'm talking on another planet, like off their faces, like ridiculous levels.
Yep.
They probably don't know what they've swallowed themselves, and it's written all over their faces. They can't hide it, and a lot of them do it every bloody weekend. I don't think people realise how friggin' dangerous that shit can be. Man, I had a mate who his personality completely changed over the course of 3 or so years. He was taking that many pills, and we'd see him out, and if you had a time-lapse camera on him over the 3 years, you just should have seen the way his whole demeanour changed, everything he wore. He became this different human being. His eyes, it was like a different human. It was like a demon inside. It wasn't him. It was someone else. And it just changed. It completely changed him. He ended up, becoming a little bit dabbling in homosexuality, and he was someone who was never anywhere near like that. It's just amazing what these drugs did to his psyche and did to his whole demeanour. Yeah, it was. I don't think they realise what it's the damage it can be doing to your brain.
So what do you think of the pill testing trials that they want to bring in? There's a lot of people opposing it, saying just get rid of the dance festivals to stop them completely. But regardless of dance festivals, they're still going to take the pill wherever. They'll take it at a nightclub, they'll take it at a party or a gathering at home or whatever. They're going to take the pill anyway. Yeah. So getting rid of dance festivals is not going to stop that. But I reckon it makes a bit of sense to have the testing. Apparently, there was the first pill testing trial was held this year at Griv and the Moo. What about that name? At Canberra, Griv and the Moo, where there was 128 people that used the testing facilities in Canberra.
Yeah.
And half of the 85 pills that were tested contained substances other than the drug that they thought that they were taking. So 2 of those pills contain deadly substances. So I think it's a good idea. They can make an informed decision that they know that what they bought wasn't what they bought. Apparently, when they get sold something, they only know that it's a certain type of ecstasy or whatever. But when these pills are tested, they find out that there's other shit in there that could be detrimental to what they do.
Yeah, it's a controversial one, isn't it? I guess. It's like you said. They're going to take them. So should we test them before they take them? But then does that encourage them to have more of it? Like, these are okay. Have 6 of these. I don't know.
Well, that's a good point.
I guess it's going to be a trial and error thing.
But again,
something they're not going to completely stop people from taking them before they go to the.
No, that's not.
I bet you the cops have a field day. I remember out the front, like just before walking into a sound wave, mate, there was sniffer dogs and cops everywhere, blokes getting arrested, and it was just a free-for-all. I guess obviously they up the security and all that stuff, but you can't really stop people from having it, can you?
No, you can't. Well, at least you're going to give them an informed choice where they, the European research shows that 50% of those who had their drugs tested said the results affected their consumption choice. So when they know there's some harmful substances in there that could do something and have an adverse effect, they can make a decision on themselves. I mean, you're going to, as you said, you're going to get people saying, "Oh, if this is right, I'll take 6 or 8 or 10 or whatever." And but yeah, it's at least they can then take that information and they can warn their friends, and that it'll reduce the outcome.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a grey area, I guess, until it's a trial and error thing. But yeah, I think it probably is a better idea than then just letting them go in loosely and, But is that going to... Who's going to want to go up to the pill machine?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. How do you get to that point where... How do you walk into the place that's got the pill machine and it's going to test it for you, and won't there be coppers there? Or...
Yeah, that's a good... Yeah, I don't know. It's weird, isn't it? That's exactly right. What happens there? Are the people who are supplying the pill machines not in trouble for allowing people to take the pills in the first place?
Yeah.
I don't understand the rules. I don't know. Like maybe they've discussed that already. But I'm.
Well, if I was a copper, that's where I'd be hanging out to catch the people that are going to be taking them, and maybe people that are going to be supplying them as well.
Yeah, just watching a bloke whip a big pillowcase out full of pills. I just want to test all these things, mate.
That's
before I sell them. Yeah.
But anyway, the thing is that...
Isn't it a tragedy that
2 people died, 26 and 23 or something?
You would not know, like, I've been young, I've done drugs before, and you're just going to... Imagine just having something you didn't know what it was, and you don't ask, what ingredients are in this or whatever. You kind of take it when you're young, experiment, not knowing, thinking everyone else does, you do it.
And again, the intricacies of this, were they taking other things? Were they drinking alcohol? Were they...
Was it a dehydration thing? Or,
yeah, that's right.
I don't know. It's mate, I don't know. I just reckon it's rife. It's disgusting the amount of kids I see off their faces, even out in bars and stuff. Someone's always doing something,
Yeah.
There's always, back in the day, today it's as common as cigarettes.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, absolutely.
More so cocaine. You see cocaine everywhere.
Yeah,
like someone's got some cocaine on them.
Yeah.
It's like it used to be a bit more scarce, but it's just so prevalent, especially like Sydney, eastern suburbs, and places like that, and anywhere really, everywhere. Like it's not just exclusive to Sydney, but
no.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, there's someone in every group who's dabbling.
It's in the country. It's everywhere. It's everywhere you go. Absolutely, places where I've been in the country playing music or whatever, it's there.
Yeah, it's rife, man. It's a shame because I see some kids that get to that age where they could go either way, say with a sports career or just a different career altogether.
Yep.
And they just get into that party mode, and their life becomes about their weekends, and they do whatever they got to do during the week just to get through, get the pay packet, get out there and get full of drugs and get as far away from reality as possible for the weekend.
Yeah.
And it ruins them after. It's all fun and games the first few months. It's like this is an awesome lifestyle the first year or two, maybe even. And then it becomes more of a need instead of a want, a habit. Mm. And that's when it just all goes pear-shaped, You see all sorts of shit going down.
Yeah, they start Friday and they finish Sunday, but they don't get over it until the Wednesday.
Yeah, and then the more you do, the more you need, and they just become hooked. Like it's an addiction opposed to pastime,
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway,
but everywhere you go, the drugs is an issue, country, wherever.
Yeah, sure is. It's got to be.
When I say country, I mean other countries around the world, everywhere.
Yeah, those big festivals, they're just a breeding ground for it, aren't they?
They are, and it's amazing that people get in and they are able to distribute them or they're able to take them and that. And when you said that the sniffer dogs everywhere, how do they get in there?
Yeah, there's little tricks and shit they do. I remember one time I went to a surf shop to get some thongs, and the bloke behind the thing, he said, "Oh, do you want to try these thongs?" And he showed me they had little compartments in them. He goes, "We call them the festival thongs."
Fair dinkum.
Fair dinkum. I said, "What? Oh, you're right." He goes, "Yeah, mate, sniffer dogs can't smell through this material that they'd used." And I was like, "You're obviously not fucking like marketing out loud that, are you?" And they're like, no, we just, people know what they're for, and you should have seen while I was there, like about 4 pairs got sold. Like it was just.
How many did you get?
I only got the 1 pair. Just got to try them out before. Yeah.
Fair dinkum. That's unbelievable.
Yeah, I know. So there's a market for it. I'm sure all the drug dealers get happy around the festival time of year.
Check the thongs. Check the thongs.
Yeah, they were like these sandal things that they weren't real trendy. I think that was their downfall. But yeah, there's all sorts of things that the kids do to get the drugs in and out of out of the detection of a sniffer dog.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
If anyone has any ideas, just write them in for us.
Yeah, terrific.
No, all right. Well,
all right, cool. Okay. What else What else is happening?
No, I'm just doing a little bit of as I was actually been talking to you. I've been doing a little bit of a circuit.
Yeah, I could hear some ruffling around and some noises happening and stuff.
Yeah, just doing a few push-ups. Got a couple of dumbbells here, just doing a little bit of weights, and went for a big walk. You're saying going to go for another walk today?
While we're talking, you were doing dumbbells.
Yeah, push-ups and dumbbells. Yep. And I've actually done a load of washing while I've been chatting to you. So I actually have, and I'm about to hang it out right now.
Oh, okay. What have you
been doing, sitting on your fat ass?
I have. I'm concentrating on what I've got to say, but you obviously got other things to do while you're...
I can multitask these days. Those ADHD tablets are phenomenal.
Yes. Well, okay.
I took them once, and they freaking work, I'll tell you that much.
Did they, yeah?
Well, they did.
They get you going?
Yeah, they kind of... you lose your spark a little bit. Like, I'm a bit crazy a little bit at times, and I'll go up and down in energy levels, but when I had these, it was just kind of a plateau. But I did focus a lot easier on daily tasks.
Is that the sort of thing that you put into your thongs as you went to the...
Smuggling ADHD tablets.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, you've done all that while you're doing that. So you've now I can go and train and do some things.
Oh, yeah, you're going to train, are you? What are you going to do?
Well, I might walk up to the shop or something. I don't know.
You got that good organic shop up the road, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a great IGA at Summerhill. It's got everything in it. Fantastic.
Yeah, good stuff. Have you been eating healthy lately?
The weekends it goes out the door, but through the week I'm right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have my protein and my spirulina and fish oil tablets every day.
But what about real food? Because that's where the real nutrients come from.
Real food, yeah. I get into the salmon now, which is 3 months ago I would never have thought I'd be eating salmon, but I love it.
Are you getting a lot of nutrient-dense vegetables into you?
Veggies as well, yeah. I've been doing the when we spoke about last what do you call it? Broth.
Bone broth, yeah.
Bone broth, beef or chicken. And that's really nice with veggies. It's a nice, like a soup type mixture. Nice.
Yeah, I made another little one last night. It's my go-to. It's just easy. See, I make a big batch and it lasts a few days, if you're hungry for a snack. It fills you up too, because I put like a bit of butter in it, real grass-fed butter, and it kind of, the fat kind of satisfies you quickly.
So when you make a batch and then you put it in the fridge, how does the broth does it go a different colour when it's cold, or?
No, actually it tastes better day 2 and 3 because the vegetables like soak overnight. I guess all the flavours of the vegetables kind of leak out into the broth.
Yep.
And I find that the longer you let it sit initially, so when I used to make it, I'd just eat it straight away. But now when I make it, I let it sit there I take it off the stove and I let it sit there for about 20 to 30 minutes.
Before you eat it?
Yeah, before I eat it, just because, the flavours kind of seem to, soak out into the broth.
So it doesn't go a different colour when you've overnight in the fridge, does it?
A little bit darker because all the chlorophyll and the colours of the vegetables. Yeah.
Does it stay loose or does it go hard? No,
it stays loose. Loose. Yep. Still runny consistency, and I'll just take it out and then I'll heat it back up in a saucepan. It's better to do that than to nuke it in a microwave. Slow heat, a bit better for the nutrient factor.
Okay.
And I just it's easy now. Like I've got it down now. Like I don't just tip the broth in and tip vegetables in. I do a little saute thing like onions, garlic, and I like coriander. A lot of people hate it. And I put a bit of chili as well as real butter, and I turn that into like a fine paste. Then I add the broth, then I add the veggies straight after I put the broth in, and then just let it boil until it's, test it. And it doesn't take long to heat up, but it takes a while for the veggies to kind of soften up. So
that paste you were talking about, the garlic and what else is in there?
I put garlic, onion, and butter.
What do you do with that paste? You throw it into the broth as well?
No. So that's in the saucepan first. That's in the pot first.
Yep.
And you turn that into a paste in the pot.
Yep.
And then you just tip the broth on top of it.
Oh, okay. And the veggies.
Yeah, and that's just like it adds a bit of it's a flavour enhancer.
That does sound good. I'm going to try that. Okay.
Yeah, try that. It's a good way to it's a good base for flavour. It's like a stock, I guess.
Text me through the paste details on what's the ingredients on that.
You need me to text you through onions, garlic, and butter.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, you chop it up fine, so it turns into a bit more of a paste. Like it doesn't have to be paste; it's chunky. Like, but it just goes like the butter kind of makes it all go together a bit. And
say butter again.
Butter.
Yeah.
Right,
that sounds good. I'll give that a shot. Yeah, cool.
I usually do the chicken bone broth myself, but I have got the beef one here. I find the chicken one a lot tastier, and it goes better with the vegetables. But
so what is actually broth? When I say beef
broth is bone. Bone. It's the bones. You can make your own broth. So you get bones from a butcher, or get grass-fed bones if you can, and you.
How do you extract the broth?
Well, you put it in water. You can do it with real chicken, like you take all the skin off, or you don't have to take skin off, but a lot of people do, and they put the just chicken in water, boil it. Tip it out, I think, and then boil it again with water, and then they add like a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar plus like whole vegetables. You chuck a whole onion in there, and it just extracts all the flavors into the broth.
So what's in that? Is it the protein and vitamins and minerals and what?
Yeah, in the marrow of the bone, there's a lot of nutrients, and collagen as well is a big thing. Collagens are very important for skin, and hair, and nails, and just inner health. Yeah. A lot of good, healthy vitamins and minerals and nutrients, and a lot of vegans beg to differ, but countless studies show that it does have those things in it. Okay,
I'm walking up the shop as we speak right now.
Yeah, well, get some. YouTube, go on YouTube and look at how to make your own broth, because it's really, really simple. I haven't done that myself because the shop down the road sells the most beautiful tasting broth all ready to go. So I'm lazy and I don't like cooking. I just get that.
Yeah, I'll be doing that.
Veggies.
I'll be doing that. But I just did 85 push-ups and 25 sit-ups. So
did you really?
While you were talking, yeah.
Yeah, sure, mate. Sure. All right, Pa. Well, enjoy the broth, and I'll speak to you shortly.
Okay, speak soon. See you, mate.
See you, mate.
Bye.